On June 5th, 1989, Arnold Blakely violated 2 of his company's safety rules. He cheated the guard on the machine he had been operating for 7 years, and he failed to follow the prescribed lockout-tagout procedure designed to protect him from harm. What you are about to see are the results of his actions. Approximately 12.5 million people make their living working factory jobs such as these. We spend approximately 1/3 of each 24 hours here so we can afford the things we want and need during the other 2/3 of the day. Our jobs are important to us and we need to work. These people could be your neighbors, friends, or just acquaintances. People just like you and me. Some are young, some are old. Men and women with different origins and backgrounds. And we all have different views on just about anything you can think of. But we have one thing in common. We don't expect to have an accident. But the truth of the matter is, every 18 seconds, one of us will be injured. Every 50 minutes, one of us will die. All because we neglected our personal safety. Look around. Look in the mirror. The person you're looking at might not be here tomorrow, because today is someone's last day on the job. Arnold Blakely is one of those people. He won't be here tomorrow because Arnold is about to make a conscious decision to cut off 2 of his fingers and part of his hand. He doesn't know that, but he should. You see, for a long time now, he's been violating the procedures for adjusting the machine he operates. This machine has guards to prevent getting the hands into the machine action, and a lockout procedure to ensure that all energy is removed when performing any adjustments or maintenance. Arnold figured out how to get around both of them. He decided one day these procedures were too much trouble. They slowed him down. And so he cheated the guard and reached in and adjusted the coolant line while the machine was running. It worked. He succeeded, or so he thought. But in reality, he was well on his way to complete failure. And at a time in his life that everything was going well. Shortly after Arnold started to work at the plant, his wife Catherine gave birth to their first child. After Catherine went back to work, they bought their home a few years later. And it wasn't long until their second child forced Arnold to give up his hobby room and paint it pink. When Catherine went back to work, Arnold got the job of dropping the baby off at daycare. She picked her up. All in all, everything was pretty good. Of course, it took both paychecks to keep everything going. But life in general was good. But life as Arnold and his family know it is about to change for the worse.
First thing I remember was waking up on the table down in the emergency room. Then it really started to hit me what had happened. I don't know, I guess up until then I was in shock. It was like, wait a minute, this can't be happening to me. It didn't happen. Then I made myself look at my hand. And this awful feeling came over me, almost sick. All I could say was, Lord, let me live this day over again. Let me go back and do it right.
But Arnold can't go back and undo the damage, because some mistakes last forever. And this is one of them.
I guess there's going to be a lot of things I wanted to do I can't do anymore. Well, not much anyway. Just play at it. I mean, I've been right-handed all my life. Now I'm trying to learn how to use my left hand. I mean, I can't even pick up a spoon. How am I going to do my old job? I probably can't get anybody to hire me. I don't know.
Always following your company's rules and job procedures is part of everyone's normal routine. Rules are not intended to be hardships, punishments, or penalties, but a system of safety that allows you to get the job done safely. When you violate a procedure, your own actions will ultimately penalize you, and life can get hard, fast. And people who count on you for support will find their life changed also. They'll be penalized too.
You ignored me.
After I came home, Catherine stayed at home for a while to look after me. But I could see in her face that she felt sorry for me. I could also see that she was worried. It took a long time for us to get this house. It took both of us working to do it. I knew, she knew the bills were going to keep coming in. And it was only going to be her paycheck to live on. I felt like nobody needed me. Why should they? I wouldn't be much help. I felt worthless.
Throw it hard, Dad. See the ball.
All right, Tommy. Here it comes. Here it comes.
I used to play catch with Tommy.
Attaboy, Tommy.
It was great. Now all I can do is throw it to him. It's not the same. He knows it. And I know it. I mean, I always felt like my family could depend on me to do just about everything. My son thought I was some kind of Superman. Anything Catherine couldn't do around the house, she'd have me do it. All that's changed. Man, it's hard to deal with.
Arnold had been on the job for 7 years. He'd been in safety meetings every week and knew the exact procedures for just about any job in the building. But what Arnold knew and what he did were two different things.
People at the plant who knew me couldn't believe it. They couldn't understand how it could have happened. I could have told them, but I made up some story about not thinking about what I was doing. Truth of the matter is, I did know. I thought, well, I didn't think at all. I cheated the guard, I didn't do the lockout, and when nothing happened the first time, I kept doing it. All I did was cheat myself. Cheat myself out of my right hand.
The company appreciates you doing the job the right way. And by always following the rules, you can enjoy the life you have made for yourself. Because there are procedures for doing every task in the plant, carefully designed to protect you. And it doesn't matter if you operate a multi-ton press, work on a chemical line, or do electrical work in maintenance. From the front door to the back door, from shipping to receiving, the idea is the same. Follow the rules for your job. They will take you back home safely.
One day while the kids were in daycare, I was sitting there in the room by myself. It was quiet, and I realized for the first time that my life had changed the day I wrecked my hand. I looked down at this ugly mess of bandages. I unwrapped it slowly. And there, where my fingers were, was this thing.
Our unsafe actions, not the machines we work with, are our worst enemy. A poor safety attitude sets the stage for an accident. And to prevent accidents, we should be sure we understand ourselves and our jobs. And we must believe that safety is an integral part of everything we do. Beware of setting yourself up for an accident by giving in to some personality quirk. Human nature is strange. We all enjoy a challenge. For differing reasons, some people want to tempt fate at some time or other. Don't do it. Machines are objects that always follow a set procedure. If you fail to follow your job procedure, the machine is still going to follow its set of instructions. It doesn't care if you get in its way. Doing the job correctly will ensure that you will not be injured or killed. If you have any doubts about the rules or company policy regarding your job or task, ask before you act. This simple act alone could save you a lifetime of pain or save your life. Before doing any job, and it doesn't matter whether you've been on the job for one day or most of your life, make sure you understand the safety procedures as well as the operation of the machine. Don't believe you can outwit the machine. You can't. Don't think you're faster than the machine. You're not. And before you begin each task, ask yourself, can I do this job safely? Do I have the know-how, the training? Is there enough time to get the job done right? Do I have the right tools and personal protective gear for the job? And a very important decision to make. What will be the results of my actions? What are the potential risks and hazards I'm about to face? Have I left anything to chance? Your future is too important to be left to chance. You have to plan ahead to ensure that the life you planned and worked for you and your loved ones, will always remain in your grasp. And for this to happen, one fact is perfectly clear. Doing your job safely is absolutely necessary.
And I really looked at my hand for the first time and realized my life had changed the day I wrecked my hand. Then it really started to hit me what had happened. I don't know, I guess up until then I was in shock. It was like, wait a minute, this can't be happening to me. It didn't happen. Then I made myself look at my hand. And this awful feeling came over me, almost sick. All I could say was, Lord, let me live this day over again. Let me go back and do it right. But I can't. Some mistakes last forever.
Arnold went through therapy and returned to the same company 1 year later. He was retrained in a lesser paying job. His accident cost him 40% of his regular salary. Arnold and Catherine lost their home and were separated 2 years later. Arnold couldn't cope with life and became an alcoholic.